best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway, we're going to get a lot done.
For real, folks, the leader of the free world. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. We're live. This is Sunday Night Live. It's the zoo. It's the inaugural, shall we say, new zoo, because we have both YouTube and the new premium service Subscribestar here right now. Jolene can put up the address if you're not aware of it, folks. We've gone back to our Subscribestar to Gorilla Fund, the Prepared Mind channel, and to ensure free speech. And if you are part of Subscribestar, I know you've been seeing the links to news, video, content that you can't get anywhere on YouTube because it's not allowed. There it is. Thank you, Jolene. It is Father's Day. And me, being a father, I feel like I participated in the birth of this channel, the Prepared Mind Network. Oomans, the rsyndicate.com. That channel has a lot of daddies there. Anyways, we're going to go for 2 hours tonight, and we're going to probably cut it at 2 hours because, well, it's Father's Day, and I've actually been invited to, enjoy myself and take the night off. But I said, hey, the zoo, it's too important to kick off. I don't like taking the day off on Sunday. It's just part of who I am now. It really is. Ever since it hit the fan with Cerveza Bug in March of 2020, ever since then, we said, hey, let's have a scotch and have a stogie and talk. It has hit the fan officially. And yes, it has. So, here we are, folks. Here we are. Now, the zoo. What do we do here? Well, normally I talk about shit I want to talk about. Normally, right, it's all about what I want, but this is your chance for everybody to step up, ask the questions you want, do the thing, right? Talk about the topics you want, and I'll make you famous. All right, if you're on a computer, a laptop, a desktop, there's a button right up here, and that is to what? To do a super chat donation. And we got, looks like Schneckum Ken is now a YouTube member. Thank you very much, Schneckum Ken. Now, the YouTube members are different than Subscribestar members. Because one's YouTube and one's Subscribestar. But what I've been telling Jolene I want to do is put out special content that goes to YouTube members only. So we get some benefit out of doing that other than just supporting our efforts of free speech, freedom, and liberty. And free speech and telling the left how it is. And folks, using satire, humor to get the message out. It's incredible, folks. I want us to top 1,000 viewers today. I know it's going to be tight. It is Father's Day. Maybe we'll only hit 500, 600, 700, 800. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's up to you guys. This address right up here, that internet address is what needs to go out. Email, text, carrier pigeon, I don't know, whatever it takes to get that address out so people wake up. I have a bunch of shit to talk about. We've got all kinds of stuff, folks. We've got international war. We've got finance issues. We got social garbage, all kinds of stuff. And Schneckum Ken says, Happy Father's Day. I tell you what, today, me and the captain, spiced rum. I've got a shot right here. And just the smell of spiced rum is amazing. It's good. Now, of course, my favorite drink is the Scottish water. But today, a little bit of the pirate, right? Captain Morgan. And if I tell you what, $50 or more super chat donation to the Get the F Back and Stay Back. That's the GTFB and SB fund. The Get the Fuck Back and Stay Back fund. That keeps me here in the bunker, keeps us broadcasting and talking about what is happening. and what you should be doing about it, how you can think about it, applying it to your preparations. Folks, you need food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and that Second Amendment means of self-defense. But this plan up here in your head, you have to know what's going on so you know from which direction the shit's going to be coming at you, right? Anyways, once again, the super chat donation button will get your question printed right here. You can do it anonymously and say, don't use my name, or not. I'll make you famous. I'll make the topic famous. I took Saturday off. That was kind of my Father's Day. And but today I've been back at it, working my ass off, catching up with what is happening. And therefore, it's really hard to keep caught up and stay caught up, folks, with everything that's happening, because they're continuing to beat us to death with topics, with crap everywhere. Okay, and one other thing, yeah. If you go to Subscribestar, it's $2 a month, 7 cents a day, and that's how you can support this channel. And because the news is what we get at. It is your show on Sunday Night Live, but I'm going to kick it off with something I want to talk about. You know, this is a big one. Quote, remember this? Democracy is at stake. We just topped 200 live. Okay. Remember when Hillary said, our democracy is at stake because of everything that's going on? Yeah, democracy is at stake, you old wench. But she's a coward. She is completely bailed on the 2024 election. She's actually going to support Biden. I remember AOC was like, I don't know if I'm going to back the Biden. I just don't know. Yeah, she doesn't know. But Hillary does, because she's a coward. You want to know why she doesn't want to run in 2024? I'll tell you. There's going to be so much social discord that is fighting. So much economic bad news, financial failure, monetary chaos, potential World War III. You know what we need in times like this, folks? We need a leader. We need a real leader. We need someone who can actually lead the country, not just use it as a money vacuum to suck money from big corporations and sell us all out. Right? We've had that for, how many years? When was the last time we had a leader that just spoke in such a way that made you think, I love America and we need to fix this? The last one I can really think of, folks, is Reagan. And I know Trump had his strong points and he went after these people like a bulldog. But the last time we had an articulate spokesman, or shall I say statesman, in office, who specifically detailed the political failures of the other side. But, that was a different time. Reagan was 40 years ago. Before that, maybe we had Eisenhower. It's been, these leaders, these good leaders are few and far between. And going from, the Obama era to Trump was something I started to feel proud of the country again, and then kind of went away. But Hillary, Hillary is a coward. She doesn't have any real policies that would fix anything, and she doesn't want her legacy, what is left of it, any positive notion of her legacy. She doesn't want it to be completely marred by what Biden and the globalists are doing. And trust me, Hillary's part of that problem. She's not part of the solution. Hillary is part of what absolutely made all of these problems. She's benefited by it. The Hillary pay-to-play when she was Secretary of State, as Hillary Clinton, as, the First Lady, and then the first governor. She's done nothing but, work behind the scenes, folks. Absolutely been just an incredible... Oh, good God, folks. It is Sunday night. Oh, boy, that smells good. Sunday night. This particular shot is a Father's Day shot. Oh, by the way, I did talk to my old man. We spent an hour on the phone talking, and I love the old guy. Always has great stories to share with me. And then, of course, my son called me and really made my day. So, what else made my day? Well, the court has ruled, folks, for the first time. The court has ruled that an insured business can seek damages because of cerveza bug shutdown losses. That is correct. What do you know, folks? This just in, and this literally came in just before we went live. Part of the reason I was about a minute late. An appellate court, folks, an appellate court has ruled that an insured restaurant can seek damages for being forced to be shut down. Now, question we have is, will this be allowed by further rulings, by federal rulings, right? Will the higher courts give mayors and governors immunity because, it was an emergency and it wasn't President Trump that locked us all down? In all truth, folks, it wasn't Dr. F. It wasn't the little doomster himself that shut us down. He just made the recommendations. Yeah, there was a national emergency. There was an international emergency, if you remember. There was a huge media blitz of fear and fear porn and speculation and all manner of conjecture. Oh, yeah. But it was the mayors and governors who shut down the states and the cities. So in court, will they, the government who was responsible for this, will they have to prove there was an emergency if they want immunity? Or, right, can that proof or any call for an emergency exemption be criticized, right, and force the government to prove its case, right? Can political incompetence be shown and therefore damages due to plaintiffs who lost their asses and lost their businesses over political decisions made? It is entirely possible that that's the case. That's entirely possible. Unfreaking believable. This is interesting, folks. Not only can someone go in and say, well, let's make the argument, right? Can they make the argument? Can businesses make the argument, or lawyers rather, that there was fabricated information out there? It was not based on science. Can they bring out proof now that what was done then was done just for political purposes, right? Can criminal charges come out of this if fraud is discovered and a grand conspiracy, right? Emails from politicians discussing the political use of the so-called pandemic, like the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, supposed tweet or real tweet, right? It's suspicious, but if that's a true tweet, it showed a willingness to use the pandemic for the election by keeping the lockdowns going to hurt Trump. So if it was used politically, that's right, folks. If it was used politically for gain, that wasn't in the public interest, right? So prepare for justice, folks, or pray for justice, but prepare for SHTF consequences, because we're circling around the SHTF hole in the bottom of the toilet. These people are dangerous, and now they may have to answer for it. And we know how, politicians, they just love to be held accountable. No, they don't. No, they don't. I do want to see these people held responsible. And if they did it in let's just say, for personal gain, then guess what? I think they should be held liable criminally, as well as the cities. And what are the cities going to do? How are they going to pay this money back? Literally, how can they pay money back? Because it's your money as the taxpayer that they would be using. Or are they going to be personally liable? This is a, shall we say, very, very dangerous game that's being played. Every email, every text message, All communication from mayors, governors, their staff, all of that, folks, can be examined by attorneys to see if they are fraudulent. Look out, folks. Look out. I don't think it's going to be a pretty ride for a lot of people. I mean, there is so much corruption right now. Seriously, folks, everything's falling apart, right? You have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and you should. Because at City Hall, at the state capitol, and up in D.C., what are they doing? They're screwing everything up. We're trying to unravel election chicanery. We're trying to unravel cerveza bug and Jim Jones juice chicanery. In fact, Mr. T put together one hell of a promo that I need to get out to you guys, showing Dr. Fauci talking with Senator Dr. Rand Paul about a very touchy subject. Unbelievable. Folks, let's step it up a bit. I want to step it up a notch. And we have passed up another notch. 300 people live on Father's Day. I want to thank all of you for coming here. It is your show. Remember, Super Chats. There's a button up there. I don't know if you can do Super Chats on a phone. I don't think so. So you have to do it on a laptop or desktop. But here we go, folks. Your topics show up. And we're going to go after it. First, Ukraine. Ukraine, folks, they're preparing for the worst, right? And they're saying this, well, this isn't Donbass. This is in the eastern regions. They're saying Kharkiv will likely be the next frontline city. What does that mean? That means they've lost. Voldemort has lost. And we're going to go over this in some detail, folks. What exactly is going on, right? What they're trying to do, where this is going, the type of war that Russia is fighting compared to a traditional blow the shit out of everything war, right? Severodonetsk fell the other day. Russia took it, right? That means they've kicked Voldemort and the Azov battalion back out. They're going to clear the country out. And Ukraine is telling its people, prepare for the worst. Well, they're telling their military, prepare for the worst. This is quite fascinating because Europe has had enough of this shit. The European people, folks, not the governments. The people of America have had enough of this shit, right? Not the government. They want lots more, but there's not enough willingness, folks. There's not the political will or support of the people. And there is a fight within Davos, the World Economic Forum, the globalists, if you will, over what direction their efforts should take. Should they keep pushing this war, or should they cede or surrender? Well, we know the Kissinger plan was, let's give it up. We've done enough damage at this popsicle stand. They've done enough, right? They got enough money out of it. They got enough power out of it. Why keep pushing it and creating a greater enemy out of Putin? Well, we're going to find out where they're going. We really will, folks. This is incredible. Let's get into this a little deeper. Now, again, you got comments, questions about this topic or any more? Super chat. But for now, folks, Biden, it's so bad in Ukraine that even Joe Biden has signaled to his officials, to Zelensky, and said, we're going to dial back this we're winning BS, right? Because that's all it is a bunch of propaganda and rhetoric, right? Because Russian winning everything is now beyond evident. Russia winning this war and following their plan is beyond evident. It's self-evident. It's obvious. Every time we turn around, another city is falling to Russian control, or rather Russian liberation from Zelensky and Ukraine. So why would he be doing that? Because they look and sound like a joke. Yes, they do. They look and sound like a joke. Because the proof is no. And what happens if they continue for months and months to say Ukraine is winning? Well, they wanted to say they're winning. They want to say the fight's going so they can send more money over. But what if it comes back that, well, all of a sudden there's a couple of new countries there and Ukraine has completely lost? And oh, by the way, did all the grain or any of the grain find its way out of the seaport at Odessa? No, I haven't heard anything about shiploads of grain, wheat, barley, oats, corn, leaving Ukraine on ships to feed the world. Have you heard that? I have not. Oh, nope. I haven't heard a bit of that. And you know why? Because Zelensky and his masters didn't want it to happen. They want there to be a food shortage. They want prices going sky high. They want to blame Putin. They do. They want all of that. But people are hungry. People are scared. People will starve. People will go broke because Zelensky won't surrender. This is a huge deal, folks. While we're all worried about, is the war over or not? A lot of people are worried about what's for dinner tonight. Right? You guys in your super chats and your guerrilla funding of the channel help to keep a nice little stockpile of spam and tuna fish here. And that's great. But, you know, a lot of other parts of the world besides the USA, they're very, very scared. I mean, you can go down to the store. Yeah, you can go down to the store and and buy whatever you want still. Prices are going up, but around the world, folks, they're scared to death. And Zelensky and Ukraine will not let the food out. They're holding it hostage to get support from in the not just a few dollars, folks. They want billions and billions and billions. Right? That's what Ukraine wants, is billions of dollars so they can put up this show fight as they get their asses kicked. And I think Joe Biden's starting to realize, hey, we're sounding really stupid. And that's crazy coming for Joe Biden, because there's not many people, folks, that really can sound as dumb as him. They really can't. You know, as everything goes up and up, it is a joke. But at the same time, Hillary Clinton doesn't want to be president now. Democrats are running for the woods. And to them, it is a big joke in a way. It really is, like this.
You know, I think ever since you've come into office, things are really looking up. You know, gas is up, rent is up, food is up, everything. No, it really has been a tough first year for you, Mr. President. Gas is up, gas is up, gas is up, everything. Rent is up, everything. Gas is up, rent is up, food is up, gas is up, rent is up, food is up, everything.
This guy's the biggest moron we've ever had in office. I think he makes the complaints of Jimmy Carter and Gerald Ford seem small. This guy is a lost cause. And we just blasted past 400 people live here. Woo! Live at one time. People come, people go, but we're live, folks. Now, again, Biden administration saying, stop saying we won. At the same time, right? At the same time, Ukraine keeps saying, we need more money and we're holding your food hostage. The people of the world have had enough of this crap, folks. They really have. They really have had enough. Oh, man. I can't believe that. 1 second. 1 second. There we go. We're going to move this around to there. Very good. Folks, it is over for Ukraine. Zelensky needs to surrender. Public opinion on the Ukraine is shifting because Europeans have had enough, folks. Europeans back immediate peace. They're doing polls in Europe. Instead of going for, shall we say, Russian defeat, they're saying, no, it's time to sue for peace. Time for Zelensky to give up. Could it have something to do with the food? Yes. Could it have something to do with the cost of gas, the cost of natural gas, the cost of everything in Europe? You bet it does. Now, Italians, folks, they are the least concerned about retribution, going after Russia. 52% of Italians want to see this end. Remember how at the beginning, everyone was all pro-Ukraine and flying those blue and yellow colors everywhere, right? The Italian people want an end to the destabilization in Europe and the economy that this war in Ukraine, pushing for it, has created, right? Only 16% of the Italians want to see this war continue. So you have what? 52 and 16 is 68. Essentially, 1/3 of the country is kind of neutral. You want to know why they're neutral? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because they're afraid, folks. They're afraid of being made fun of. They're afraid of being called names. They want to sound smart and cool, so they're just, I'm neutral. They don't want to say anything. I'll bet 3/4 of those want peace and this bullshit to stop, and they're just afraid to say anything. Right? Similar story to that in Germany, 49% are done with the bullshit. And only 16% in Germany, folks, want the fighting to continue. It's over with. The people no longer support it, folks. Right? Romania, 42% are done, and only 23% are like, yeah, we want more war, right? It is less than 20%, right? France, 41% have had it, 20% want more war. So people that are willing to take a side, it's double or triple the number of people. These people won't take the poll because they're afraid of being considered evil by the woke governments. Now remember, folks, in Europe, in Italy, France, Germany, the Netherlands, England, you get in trouble if you speak your mind. If you want to say something like men can't get pregnant, you can be fined, thrown in jail. They're afraid to give their frickin' opinions. But on about a 3-to-1 basis, people are willing to say, we've had enough of this garbage. Throw caution to the wind and give their opinion and say, yeah, we've had it with this trash. Okay, I want to do this. We have, it is Darcy T with a super chat donation. The first big one of the day with a $50 super chat. And I said, any super chat of $50, and it's one captain for Captain John. You know, sometimes the captain is just pretty damn smooth. All right, I'm gonna pour myself another one, just in case we keep going with that. Once again, any super chat donation of $50 into the GT, FB, and SB super chat fund buys me a drink. Tell you what, yeah. It is because of you guys that we keep coming back. All right. Darcy says on one thing, happy Father's Day to all dads. We appreciate you. I tell you what, Darcy, thank you. And if it weren't for mothers, we wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for fathers, we wouldn't be here. And Darcy says in an email, no topic, just happy Father's Day to all dads. Thank you very much. There's several ways that people donate. Darcy tends to use the PayPal. Down in the comments below, there's PayPal, there's Cash App, and then, of course, there's the Super Chat button up here. Let us move on, if we shall. And Darcy, thank you again for all your support. We got Doopsy Daisy with a $10 Super Chat donation. And he says, can you do Super Chats on the phone? My question is, what comes after their controlled demolition? Submit and comply or die? Not everyone will be allowed in their new system. Now, this is a fascinating, very difficult, very broad topic. So if you can, Jolene, we'll take down Doopsy Daisy, and you're famous now. Years ago, I was hardcore prepping. Years ago, back when we first started the channel, I was like, you gotta have a year's worth of food. You gotta. Something bad's gonna happen. Something Wicked this way comes, to quote a Ray Bradbury title. Something's coming. Get prepared. All these things we're talking about. And then somewhere around 2016, I started to go, well, what happens afterwards? All of these rich people out here, they still going to need servants. They're still going to want people. Even if they get their way and there's only 500 million people on the planet, they're still going to have their needs. They're still going to need slaves. They're still going to need a lot of stuff. What comes next? Right? What comes next? You know, the rich people want us very poor so they can feel more rich. Right? These sadistic pricks. They don't like you flying on a plane. Oh, we're going to talk about planes in a bit. Someone may bring that topic up, or I've got it myself. What comes next? Well, in order to introduce a new political, economic, culture, or any other system, you have to take down the old. America was very much in love for over 200 years, in love with America. The idea of freedom, liberty, justice, equality, all those things. America's great. We're not giving up our Constitution. We'll give you that, right? You want something, you come get it, and we'll give it to you bullet first. That was the American way, right? You can pry this gun from my cold, dead fingers, a-holes. No gun control. That was America, right? You don't like the way I look? We don't give a shit, right? We're going to tell you, we're Americans. They knew they couldn't just change the Constitution. America wouldn't buy it. They knew America wouldn't give up its culture. We loved our football, our baseball, our basketball, our hockey, as well as other winter sports, summer sports, etc. We weren't going to give that up. They have to tear it away from us. So they destroyed sports by introducing politics into it. They destroyed our schools by bringing Marxists in there and re-educating kids. They do want to destroy it. But they need us as slaves. So what do they need to do? They need to get rid of the old system and introduce a new one. But who gets to participate in the new system? People who are dumb enough or willing to give up their rights, their country, their culture? Well, they're showing exactly what the value of that is. How many people, folks, have to die? How many people have to die from Jim Jones juice? How many people have to die because of political demands? Well, as many as they can get, folks, to sterilize themselves, literally by taking drugs to change their gender, cutting off their gender, sterilizing themselves with the potential problems that come with the Jim Jones juice. That's right, folks, there's tons. There are thousands of people having reproductive problems now. People that die from it. Crispy Bacon and I discuss quite frequently how the geriatric, old, retired folks, they're now seen as a burden to the system rather than beneficial. They get rid of them. They represent nothing but liability to the government. They pay taxes their whole life. They funded the Social Security and other entitlement systems with their tax dollars, and now they want to get rid of them. They want to get rid of a massive number of the population. So who, if we can, Jolene, put up that question again. I want to get back to it now. We come full circle. We come full circle. What comes after their controlled demolition? They want to give us a new culture. But first they have to get rid of the riffraff. Who doesn't reproduce? People who are light in the loafers, people who can't reproduce because they've been sterilized or they've killed themselves off, right? And of course, dead people, right? After their controlled demolition of the economy, they introduced their own version. And I'm going to talk about that, folks. It's coming up because Putin talked about it also. Said there's going to be a change in the elites, the oligarchs, because of what they're doing. They want to control everything, folks, with this controlled takedown of the economy, the monetary system, the legal system, our cultural system, our military, our world structure, our national sovereignty. They want to bring it all down and then go, hey, we got a problem here. We didn't see this whole issue with Jim Jones juice and the social discord the immorality of everything that's being done. Oh yeah, we've got to end that. There is a model that says this is true. That will happen, right? Right now they're saying submit and comply or die. Well, everyone that submits and complies just may die, if not severely harm themselves or remove themselves from the population. You're right. Not everyone is going to be allowed in the new system. Now, when they have control at the top, because that's what they want, they believe that everyone else below will have to comply, right? We'll be smart enough to understand our place and willing to continue to serve. That's what they hope for in their new system. But that doesn't mean that new system is going to happen, folks. It doesn't mean that. It really doesn't. It's a great topic, Doopsie Daisy. What comes next? It depends on how far they take us down. Are they willing to go total scorched earth and destroy everything? Or are they willing to give up and back off and go, okay, we got a big old chunk and we control everything. Okay, this is incredible. Let me see if I can find some more support for this discussion, right? This article was written in order to restore our American constitutional republic. The oligarchy, that is the Bill Gates and the Warren Buffetts and the Jeff Bezos and the massive corporations and the European aristocracy, they must be overthrown. That's the only way our constitutional republic will survive, folks, unless they give up before it comes to throwing blows. Right? Because I agree with this. The idea of maintaining our republic requires the overthrow of these powerful people who are controlling Biden, Pelosi, Schumer, McConnell. That's right, folks. McCarthy. I'm naming Rhino Republicans. I'm naming names. There was a great name for Representative Crenshaw. I thought it was hilarious. Eye Patch McCain. Yeah, playing that card is over with. The guy is nothing but a rhino. Now, I agree. We have to overthrow these people. We're at a very dangerous place. What comes next was asked. It depends on how far they push us and what we're willing to do about it, right? Stated outright, folks, an oligarchy is incomplete with a functioning constitutional, not incomplete, incompatible. An oligarchy, which is ruling wealthy elite that tell the government what to do, that's fascism. It's incompatible with a constitutional republic, which is our Constitution, that which we were set up as in 1789. Now, they are mutually exclusive, meaning they cannot coexist. It's one or the other. There are now two parties in America, folks. It's not Democrats and it's not Republicans. And by the way, we blasted past 500 people live. Keep sending out, folks, this internet address up here. There are now two parties in America, not Democrat, not Republicans, folks. A more accurate nomenclature for these two parties would be patriots and traitors to our republic. We are now in a neo-feudal state, folks. Feudal state, that would be the king and his aristocrats and all the peasants down below. That's what a feudal system was. They make the rules and they have own rules for them, but the people are pissants. Peasants is the other version of pissant. Peasant, pissant, peasant, pissant. They don't give it. We're nothing to them. We're beneath them. Right? We are in a new pissant system, folks, where these rich have their own rules. With peasants, we have it, and the super rich. And there's different rules for both, different financial rules, legal rules, energy rules, travel rules, property rights, individual rights are different for peasants or pissants and the super rich, the oligarchs. Okay. This is what they want us in. And I heard this, folks, back in like 2003, 2004. Someone said, yeah, we're heading for neo-feudalism. And that perked up my ears. I went, one more time, neo-feudalism. They want a new feudal system with two classes of people. The first class and then, well, peasants, pissants, right? The oligarchs, the super rich, think they are playing a cute game with us, the peasants, while we run around trying to make a life for ourselves, right? They are stepping on us and hurting us all along the way. They're trying to destroy the middle class, which is anyone who makes less than $10 million a year. That's right, folks, $10 million a year. If you're not making that, you're part of the lower class system. You will be squashed. You will be squashed. The super rich are playing this game, right? When the people, whether you're poor or so-called middle class or so-called rich, unless you're super rich, folks, you're not getting anywhere. And when the people fully realize who is causing the pain, is it Biden or is it Biden's masters? And will Biden's masters be called out by name? Because when we fully realize who is causing this pain, folks, the game will change. The oligarchs will be toppled. And so will their puppets in DC and the states, in the state capitals. Perhaps, folks, let me say this. Perhaps the real civil war will not be between patriots and the government. Perhaps the real civil war will be between patriots and the super rich and their corporate puppets, the CEOs and boards, right? They will hide behind Biden's skirts. They will plead and demand, Biden, president, government, please protect us from these peasants. Folks, Biden doesn't have coattails. No, he doesn't have political coattails, and he doesn't have protective coattails. Stay tuned on this idea of fighting literally against the super rich. And that, folks, that is why they hide in bunkers in North Dakota, Colorado, Utah, New Mexico. That is why they're hiding in Montana. They're hiding in New Zealand, Australia. They're hiding around the world. They have bunkers and they have bug out plans because they know, folks, this system truly is a battle between us, the peasants, and the oligarchs. They'll use their government stooges to take the heat. Oh, yes. They want their government stooges, their Bidens, their Pelosi's, to take the heat. And by the way, Pelosi is not one of them. Schumer, McConnell, they're not one of them. They're useful tools, and they too, folks, may get some questions put to them. The question will be put to them if you know that historical reference. They'll be asked some hard questions and forced to answer. It is coming. It is absolutely coming. All right, I've been blabbing enough. You guys, your super chat donations get you on the board. T96 with a $2 super chat. He says, Russia by surgical win when they could nuke it all. That is a fantastic comment. And I'll tell you what, T96, for $2 in that super chat, you're getting one hell of an answer. You are. You seriously are, because you brought this up. You brought it up. Here it goes. Are you ready for this? Everyone sit down. This is the best $2 satirical response on the planet for history. Lithuania. Did they just light the fuse on World War III? That was the headline I read early this morning. I was sipping a cup of coffee. Not this delicious rum that I'm waiting for. Did Lithuania light the fuse? Folks, NATO is continuing to push for war. Yet again, this is a huge move, and it's the stupid move. Lithuania, folks. Okay, here is the size of Germany. This is Germany. And this is Lithuania. This is Russia. Let me get Russia on the screen. Russia's huge. This is how big Russia is. That is Lithuania, this tiny little dot. There we go. There's Lithuania compared to the size of Russia. Lithuania sits between the Baltic Sea and Russia. And they have an agreement with Russia, Lithuania does, to allow the transit of Russian goods, services, energy, etc. It's a transportation corridor, kind of like a literal superhighway, a literal interstate, right? Lithuania has decided it will cut off Russia from sending its goods through their nation, right? And they claim they're following the European Union sanctions, right? How is this going to help the European Union or anyone else by pissing off Russia? How is it going to help, right? Russia could, if they wanted, folks, see this as an unprovoked war effort. Cerveza bug. Russia could switch gears and make this a real war. I think that Lithuania is, whoever's in charge in Lithuania is basically controlled opposition. They're bitches, in other words, to the European Union. Lithuania is part of NATO and part of the European Union, folks. And they've done this to Russia, said, you can't use our country anymore. So Russia could switch gears. They could either go on the attack or, folks, they could go full nasty, which I think is worse, and deny energy to the rest of the unfriendly European nations. They have friendly people they'll sell energy to at a discount. But if you're unfriendly, like Poland, Germany, France, any other country in Europe, they're going to say to you for doing what they've done, sanctioning Russia, trying to hurt them, which of course Russia has just benefited from the higher energy costs, whether it's coal, natural gas, oil, fuel, whatever it is, diesel, they're sticking it to the Europeans. And so this is not going to help the Europeans any by pissing Russia off some more. And by the way, Russia can just send whatever they need to send over to, I think it's Novosibirsk. They can send whatever they want over to other Russian territories across the Baltic via ship. Now, where are we now, folks? This is now I'm answering the question that T96 had. Battle tactics. Where are we at? Battle tactics so far? Folks, we have something called an SMO, a special military operation, and then we have full-on war. What's the difference? In a special military operation, or SMO, you have an attack on the communications, electrical infrastructure, transportation. Not the standard warfare. You go after communications, you go after transportation infrastructure, you go after fuel depots, and you just obliterate the military. In the SMO, the special military operation, you try to minimize civilian and military casualty and cause the enemy to give up. That is what is being done in Ukraine. I've talked about the restraint that Putin has, that the Russian military has, right? They want to move the Azov battalion and the Ukraine army into civilian neighborhoods to try and protect them, use normal people as human shields. Russia has said we're not going to go in there and just blow everyone to pieces. In normal war, they would just carpet bomb the fuck out of everyone, right? That's the difference between a special military operation and war. Lithuania, you want to play fucking games? You're risking a lot. And by the way, we just crossed 600 people live at one time on the Prepared Mind channel on Father's Day. Thank you to everyone for showing up. I got a drink here waiting for the next $50 super chat donation, and we get them. And that is what keeps us on the air, folks. Your super chats, whether they're $50 or 556 or 762 or 1911, or the other one is my favorite, 1776. We got lots of great super chat numbers that come out all the time. Anyways, sorry about that. We crossed 600, and that always makes me happy. On our way to 700 people live. The president can't get a couple hundred for one of his presentations. We here on the Prepared Mind channel blow away the President of the United States with our Sunday Night Live presentations. By the time we're all done, we'll have over 10,000 people will have watched this video. But live at any one time, folks, give it a thumbs up. That says you like this. It tells YouTube, John's good. We want the information, right? Hit the subscribe button. You have to wait 30 minutes. I should have said this earlier. I think Man is in and out, not on all of today. Anyways, you have to be a subscriber to make a comment. And if you're a new subscriber, you have to wait 30 minutes before you can join. Okay. The conversations are great in the comment section, and I love it, folks. I absolutely love it. Now, back to the topic at hand. Special military operations, war. What has Russia been conducting? Surgical special military operations to push the Ukrainians out of the country, out of eastern Ukraine, the new republics, right? That's what they want to do. They're not trying to kill all the civilians. They're not trying to destroy all of the military. They're allowing them to, hunker down in a steel plant. And instead of just, incinerating them, they're waiting them out and pushing them out. Now, Zelensky has been all but abandoned by the world, who are sick of his BS. As I pointed out, Americans, Europeans, sick of it. Sick of the BS, the lies, the cost, our inflation, shortages of food and fuel. And we all know, folks, I think it's safe to say we all know Ukraine is a puppet state run by a skinny jeans wearing puppet leader. And he is, for all intents, all purposes, all reality, a complete bitch of the oligarchs in the West and the banking system. Right? This is what's going on, folks. This is what is going on. Right? If we could, let's put up that last T96 super chat donation. Russia by surgical win when they could have nuked it all. That was very well said. They're surgically removing because it is a special military operation. He's not destroying the infrastructure of Ukraine or the eastern Ukraine, which are now independent states who are recognized by many countries, just not Europe or the US. If Russia was trying to take this for themselves, they would destroy the businesses, the infrastructure, the buildings, the roads, the bridges, everything. That's not what this is about. It's about removing Ukraine's control. That's what this is all about. In the face of defeat, folks, the losers have picked another nation to begin fighting with, Lithuania. Putin has already profited by and shown the West that he doesn't need their approval and that their sanctions don't work. And he is surgically taking back eastern Ukraine for the people that live there so they can partner with Russia or whoever they want and not be forced to give away their money, their wealth, their resources to the Western oligarchs, right? So I want to ask this: how will closing Lithuania, that corridor, hurt Russia financially? It won't. I don't really expect to see war out of this. It's just another attempt to piss off Putin, and he'll just piss off Lithuania and everyone else for it. Folks, the World Economic Forum, the Davos douches, the Klaus Schwabs, the super rich oligarchs don't want to quit or admit defeat over Ukraine, right? The Kissinger plan, which I have called it now, is conceding the loss of Ukraine or Eastern Ukraine to liberty and freedom. Remember that idea. They got liberty and freedom by divorcing, separating from, becoming independent of Ukraine. The states or territories within Ukraine seceded, and Russia is helping them secede. Remember this. Far in our future, again, we're talking about the future of the world. After all of the bullshit financial, medical, military crap that's going on, what does the future hold? Can states, like any state within the United States, successfully secede? Can the states small as they may be, bigger than Rhode Island, smaller than Texas, but still states within Ukraine, can they successfully secede from Ukraine? The answer is it's going to take fighting. Russia has supported Donetsk, right? The Donbass area, they want to be free. Now they're going to be free. And folks, the World Economic Forum, they don't like it. They don't want to quit, right? They want to use the U.S. military support, NATO support, German support, Polish support to fight. And it's punishing you. And it's punishing all of us, me, you, me, the United States, Europeans, everybody. Russia is surgically removing these people. If Texas wanted to secede, would the U.S. government send in the military? You bet your ass they would. Any military that would follow those orders would be there, right? The Kissinger plan in Ukraine, conceding the loss, I think, is what will end up happening. Barring some dramatic win, right, in Ukraine and Lithuania hurting Russia, right? Barring that, right? This game of adolescent checkers that NATO and the European Union and the US are playing, right, is going to fail against the chess master. They don't have enough to defeat Russia, folks. Russia could have gone in and obliterated. You use the term nuked it all, T-96. Russia could have done a whole lot more. But they have surgically removed and are continuing to remove the enemy. It's less expensive, less loss of life, I think, on the civilian side. And it is shown that Russia is being pretty nice relative to what they could have done. If we're supposed to believe that terrible Ivan is terrible and they just kill everyone. Yeah, well, it's not that way, is it? Interesting. I know that NATO, the European Union, the United States government, and media would have loved to have shown Russians just murdering civilians by the thousands. To say, see, Russian, terrible Ivan. You know, they're very, very bad. Nope, they couldn't do it. Could not do it. Couldn't do it. All righty, if we got another super chat donation. If not, I'm running. Oh, shit. I spoke too soon. I knew someone would slip in there. Thank you for the great super chat donations. Keep them rolling in and we'll get the questions answered. We're at the 1 hour mark. We're going to go 2 hours tonight. And Jenny Jen checks in with a $19.99 super chat donation. Says, hey all. So, John, I've got my preps. Am focusing where my money goes and getting more educated in various ways. And I am on constant alert. Now what? Love to all, Semper Fi means always faithful. P.S. I'm using my phone for super chat. That's terrific. If you have your phone, you can super chat. That is terrific. Good news. I've been told by many people that they have trouble with their phone figuring it out. I'm glad it's possible. Now, you asked a big question. 2 words and some punctuation. Now what? You are prepared. You've got food. You've got water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. I bet you have a group, a community group, Jen, because I actually know Jen personally, everyone. She's a totally cool person. And I'm getting to know a lot of you personally as well, and I'm enjoying it. There's so many good people in America, but Jen has known me for years. She and someone else met me at a mixed martial art presentation at a bar. I was just sitting there and she was like, I know who you are. It was amazing. It was such a funny fucking thing. Anyways, Jenny Jen's question, now what? That's what I'm doing here. I've got my bunker. I've got my food. I've got water. Got that all figured out. Got my means of self-defense. I've got my training. I go out and bang, 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 bang. Have fun with my cap guns and my airsoft guns. I'm all practiced and I want to continue to be practiced, right? I am eating my Spam, rotating it, making sure I eat the old and then bring in new. And I see, when I first started buying Spam, folks, $1.20 a can. It is now way more than double that. Way more than double that. And it's just going up. Okay, cans of tuna fish, cans of, anyways. Rotate your food, Jen. Start rotating it. Keep bringing in fresh and eating the rest, right? And that's just how it goes. As far as what's next, who, right? You got your 10-mile radius. You got your world. You're right in the middle of it. Your world. Continue to stay educated on your area. You've got local politics, state politics, national politics, international politics. You've got economic decisions, financial decisions, social decisions. One of the things I've said for many a month now is prep, get prepped, and prep to action. Now that you're all set, you know what's going on. Keep track of what's going on in the world. That's what we do on the Prepared Mind. If you need to get more training, more practice, take your time to do that. But this is critical. Prep to action. Now that you know what's going on, you know who the enemy is, you know how they're attacking our country, you can get involved locally. Now, of course, text, write, email, smoke signal, carrier pigeon, federal politicians up in DC, send them your messages, your demands, but get active locally. Local politics, school board, civics, right? Who is sending these representatives to the state and to the federal government? Who is sending representatives there? Is your local political boards are full of rhinos and scumbag Democrats. You need to get in there and throw them the hell out. This has been going on since Trump in 2020 and before, pissing off these old-time scumbag rhinos who just seek to put in the softest, weakest Republican they can, thinking that's how we're going to win. Get active, local, prep to action. It can also include, folks, you can join local Republican Party and say, how do I get active? Canvassing, door-to-door work, having petitions signed, getting active. Now, I know people like Jen are famous locally. People know who she is. And if you're famous, use that. Use it. People know who I am. When I used to step out, they're like, that's that John guy. Speak up. Start using your political voice, Jen. I know it's hard to step out of the comfort zone, but use your political voice. Use your knowledge, right? You say you're getting more educated in various ways. Use that. If you're intelligent, informed, use that. That is ammunition in your intellectual repertoire. I strongly suggest using that. Folks, we hit 600 live. Send out emails, send out text messages, send out chat, send out Facebook, send out whatever you can. Get people the address up here. We've got some more great information to talk about. Thank you, Jen, for the great support. Always welcome here on the Prepared Mind channel. What do we have next in our super chat donation bin? What do we got here? Okay, I got that. Thank you, Jolene, for sending that. We have, folks, an attack on our traditions. We got all these political attacks. Okay, thank you, Jolene. We've got all these political attacks. But we also have a spiritual attack. And by spiritual, I don't mean necessarily religious, Christian, Catholic, or none of that. This is an attack on who you are inside of you. It's very personal. Now, the man speaking up against this is none other than the Archbishop Vignano, who attacked openly, publicly, the New World Order, the globalists, the Davos types. And he has said this now, quote, "The family is certainly at the center of the globalists' attack." This man is not afraid of these people, folks. The family, who we are, our personal lives, right? Our souls, if you will, who we are as people, it is under attack, right? It is, and this attack comes in many forms, right? This is what the Archbishop says. False accusations are one of the means to eliminate an adversary that the bad guys fear, right? He talks about the pandemic and how it was used to break the family up, how education breaks the family up. Not getting smart, not reading, writing, and arithmetic. That's not what is breaking up the family. It is what they're teaching kids in school, to hate themselves, to hate their parents, to hate their own gender, to actually just throw away the meaning of words and create new meanings. All of this is an attack on us personally. Telling children to hate their parents or hate themselves, that's an attack on us personally, right? Right. He says it's ideological, right? The purpose of the elite is to make use, right, of everything that we have about us and turning it on us, right? And striking at the family, right? Hatred of the father as masculine and bad. And the denial of femininity, and to claim that femininity means you have to hate men, and then denial of ourselves. To hate normality is to accept perversion. And that's what they're pushing. Your parents are bad. They're normal. So what option do you have but to choose perversion? Well, really? Perversion's the alternative? Right? That's what I mean by this being a spiritual attack. That's how I see it. Right? It is incredible, folks, this war that we're in. Absolutely incredible. It's real war with guns and bullets. It really is. It's real war. But it's so much more than all of that. I mean, just to give you a little more of a personal shot at this. We knew this was coming, this attack on us personally. Not just you and me saying we're bad, we're evil, we're right-wing lunatics, we're terrorists, all that. I understand that. But a story came out about teens who became trannies and transitioned, and now they're very sad, right? They transitioned their genders and they destroyed their sexual organs. Now they want to detransition and become what they actually are. How is that possible? I thought these decisions were made by intelligent creatures who had a full understanding and knowledge of what they... No, they're children, they're minors. And their parents allowed this, and the schools promoted it. And now, right, these detransitioning people, these people who have transitioned, and they're not happy with it. They were fed a bunch of lies. They were confused. Their souls were attacked. Their spiritual self was attacked and told they weren't good enough and they're terrible. And so they've destroyed their bodies with chemicals. Right? It used to be that, well, you ruin your life with drugs because you just didn't accept your parents and the way life is, and you thought you would find your way out of it with drugs. Now it's, well, don't try drugs, try changing your gender, which requires drugs. You're not happy with yourself. That's the problem. And that is a type of mental illness, right? You are not happy with yourself. And I've shared with you the story, folks, and this is critical, of a nurse who works in ICU, friend of mine, brother of mine, works in ICU, works in patient recovery from surgery. And he says every time someone comes out of transition surgery, they wake up, they see his face, and the first thing they ask him, and he told me this is always happening. It wasn't just onesie twosie. It was every single time the person looks at him and says, did I make the right decision? And he's like, it's not up to me. I'm just here to help you wake up and recover. Right? But literally, he just said, dude, that should have been their priest, their parents, their family, their friends, their psychologist. All of those people told him, yeah, you're doing the right thing. That's what, folks, that is exactly what the problem is with the system. No one wants to tell these people that's not the solution. Instead, they want a virtue signal. They absolutely want a virtue signal that, well, you know, you're doing the right thing here. And they want to sound like they're being supportive and everything else. No, it's time for some tough love. No, you shouldn't do that. You were born an XY or you were born an XX. That's who you are. You don't get to change that by cutting off parts of your body or by taking some drugs. They got some depression. They've been told they hate themselves, hate their parents, hate their country, hate their tradition, hate their cultures, hate normality, and now they're fucked up in the head. And so now, well, you know, hey, the suicide count for these people before surgery, after surgery, before they even get surgery, all of these dysphoria people, gender dysphoria people, they've got problems. And the solution isn't saying, oh yeah, you're perfectly normal. No, I don't think so. But that's the trouble we have. How do we address the situation? Well, first, you stop telling people to fuck themselves up. Stop hating themselves, right? There's number one, but you know, I'm not allowed to do that. Right? Anyone who is against their problems are bigots. That's what they say, right? But you know, puberty blockers, mastectomies, cutting your weenie off with a saw, that doesn't fix their problem, right? Unbelievable. The therapists, the specialists, the school counselors, the propaganda in the news. And the next step, folks, is just the outright sickness that's coming with all of these. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, the queens. Oh, that's so normal. Oh, yeah, that's really normal. Wow. Okay. Let's do this. I'm going to give you, let's play this. We're about to go back up over 600 again live. And we just did. Bam. Folks, for all those of you who are new to the show, hit that super chat button up there and you can ask a question and I'll make you famous. In fact, you know, some topics are prohibited by YouTube, but I've got special code words to address them. If you have a question, a topic about a person, place, thing, event, a question about the future, a question about history in the past, get your super chat donation in. That supports this channel. It supports what we do here. And it is, folks, even on Father's Day, we're here. Some holidays we take off, but this one I decided we would be here. Put in a couple hours with you guys and see where we're going. But while we're waiting for that next super chat donation, I'm going to say take a wild guess at this. A TikTok star, folks, Gia Pastion, age 19, is now passed away, dead. I'm going to ask you to take a wild guess at why she passed. What killed her? Go ahead and take a wild guess. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Right? Unbelievable. Oh, we've got another one. Here's another one. Take a wild guess at this one. Instant death. Unexpected death. An actor, folks, an Emmy nominee from 911, Lone Star. This guy's name was Tyler Sanders, age 18. He died unexpectedly. Why do you think that is so? Why do you think that's so? I'm not laughing because he's dead, folks, but because the answer is painfully obvious to me anyways. And a lot of people, right, they seem to know what it is. Unbelievable, folks. There is a sickness out there, and it has to do with trusting those who shouldn't be trusted. It has to do with obeying those who shouldn't be obeyed. We didn't have these problems when the country was free and we had all of our liberties and we could all freely speak. Now you can't. Now people aren't taught to think for themselves. They're taught to obey the crowd and be afraid of upsetting other people. How far, right, has that gotten us? Hasn't helped us a bit, has it? Right? Be quiet. Don't say anything. Well, remember that coach, right, for the football team. And just a few weeks ago, right, he spoke up and I was like, he's going to get fired. And then he was fined $100,000 That's right. The coach of the Washington Commanders used to be the Redskins. And Native Americans I knew liked the Washington Redskins just the way they were. He was fined $100,000. He hasn't lost his job yet. I'm surprised. And I'm really surprised by that. But Jack Del Rio, coach, questioned this public narrative. He spoke his mind. Well, Bill Maher of, HBO, he is a serious socialist, folks. But he sees where this is going. He sees the problem with it. He says, quote, speaking of the coach, he does have the right to voice his opinion as a citizen of the United States. What the fuck? Right, exactly. You see, the left can say all they want. They can protest during sports, which of course they've ruined sports. No one gives a crap anymore. But yeah, what the F? What this is about, folks, is trying to destroy the country. But it's too late, Bill Maher. It's too late for you and your precious Democrats, right? Your precious socialist leaders are so retarded. They're literally that stupid that they will make people hate them for all this abuse that's being heaped on us. We're going to blame the Democrats, and we're already doing it. We're already waking up. Not just me and you as preppers, folks, not just me and you as patriots, but just regular Joes are now waking up going, wait a minute. And Bill Maher is sounding the alarm, right? What the fuck? Don't do this, right? The people are going to turn on these political leaders. They're going to turn on the woke corporations, right? There are new converts, folks, to freedom and patriotism daily. And perhaps you're one of them right now listening to this broadcast. And that's why I say send this link right here. Send that internet link out to everybody. They're going to wake up. They're going to finally see it, whether it's because of food or fuel or sports or their children or their view of the international world or the legal system. Eventually they'll see it as they're watching their 401ks take a shit right now because of everything the left is doing, right? Screw the Democrat Party. Screw the rhinos and screw the scum who want to groom kids and bring our nation down and destroy our belief that we can do better, right? We don't do better by surrendering ourselves. We do better by being free. Unbelievable what's going on, folks. And it is Father's Day. It's absolutely Father's Day. And as a father of two sons, right, I love my country. I love my own father. Fathers are good. Does the media portray that? No, they don't. They have a lot of pride, though. They got a month of pride. But Father's Day, maybe if they can market and get some money out of it, they might. But they don't give a shit. Fishman checks in with a $10 super chat donation. And your donation, my friend, will go to making sure the lights stay on. Jolene stays hard at work. I stay hard at work. And everybody that supports this channel by providing information, you guys are all the kings, right? You make this happen, right? You do. Every week, Darcy T is here. Every week, right? All of you are here supporting us. Fishman says, it's amazing to me, and I'm sure everyone here, how far off the fucking rails our great country has fallen, especially the past 10 years or so. Mainly since 9/11 with the Not So Patriotic Act, right? I agree with you, Fishman. I do. 9/11 was horrifying. The Clinton years were horrifying, right? But yeah, it got really bad under Obama when they started coming out. George W. Bush and 9/11, followed by the Not So Patriot Act, followed by the National Defense Authorization Act, which made you and me subject to propaganda and lies from the government. It authorized them to commit all manner of screwing us. And our great nation, folks, is off the rails. It is derailed and is now being steered by very ugly, and I don't mean looks, but very ugly human beings. They have black hearts, and they're full of greed and hatred for you and I. They hate our freedoms, folks, because only the very rich throughout all of human history, and follow me here, all of human history, only the super rich could eat what they want when they want. Now you and I can go to the store and buy whatever we want anytime we want. Through all of human history, only the super rich could travel because they could afford it, and they could get the king's pass to go from country to country or to sail. Throughout all of human history, folks, only the super rich had good health. Everyone else lived in filth and scum. Throughout all of human history, folks, the rich and only the super rich have had it good. You and I can get the same medications, the same food. We can have air conditioning, refrigerators. We drive around in cars. We live a life of luxury. The poorest among us live better than the super rich did 100 years ago, and they're tired of it. They don't like us having all these freedoms. The super rich could say what they want, go where they want, do what they want. Only them throughout all of human history. We as free people can influence our politicians in a fair election system. We can speak together, free speech, and object to politicians and our numbers when we are discontent with them. Scare them, and they should. And they have to obey us because we vote for them. And if not, we'll throw them out. The super rich used to be the only ones that could do that. Well, it's getting back to that, right? Our elected representatives in DC, in the states, even in cities, are bought and paid off. So we have no say, no control over them. And the super rich are happy. But they need to take away our right to object at all. Take away our ability to gather. That's protesting. To organize. That's insurrection. Right? To call for political change and to fight them politically. They're saying, no, no, no. That's a threat of violence. Unbelievable. Fishman, I agree. Especially over the last 10 years, we've seen the decline. But the building blocks of neo-feudalism were laid way back in the Obama years, in the George W. Bush years, in the Clinton years. Back when the Supreme Court said corporations can make donations to political candidates, and that's their free speech. That's when they started buying politicians outright. When political action committees and super PACs could get money from anonymous donors and then take that huge amount of money and say, there you go, politician. But by the way, we would like you to vote this way. And when we make a phone call, you pick up the phone and, we'll give you an opinion or two. Yeah, it's really gone off the rails, man. Thank you, Fishman, very much. It's a great, great topic. And like I said, we've got some problems. And the war may not be a war between the patriots and the government, but rather patriots and the oligarchs who will get the blame also, who should rightly get the blame because they're the ones telling government what to do. All right, let's get mineral water back on the board there, Jolene. $10 super chat donation. And he says, wondered if the Ron Foster prepper books I sent arrived yet. The answer is no. I have not got them. I am waiting on them. Now, I have a couple of mail drop locations, and I was told I have mail. I wasn't told it was a big box, but I'm waiting for it. Jolene has sent it. Now, I do live kind of way the hell out of the way and down a rabbit hole, etc. But thank you for the great super chat donation. As soon as I get those books, and we've been talking, and sadly, I've been talking about this for a long time with you. I can't help it. If the books don't show up, if they get fucking lost or stolen. But anyways, we've got some great, and I think, folks, I really do believe that we're being screwed with. This isn't Jolene bullshitting. This isn't me bullshitting. Where are the prepper books that could help you get prepared better? Stories that are fictional, and these are going to be available on Amazon. Fictional books that you can read to help put your mind in a scenario where you can see and think and understand how things may happen. I can't wait to get those books, man. I've been waiting for it. Absolutely waiting for it. Tuesday, I will be going back up and out the rabbit hole, if not Monday, tomorrow, and check out what the hell is going on. I'm going to have to go ask the, shall I say, mail person. You know, is there a package laying around that has my name on it? And see if they can dig it up. I'm sure that box, when I get it, is going to be battered and opened by at least one bureaucracy. Okay, let us move on. I tell you, I've got several topics here, folks. Where do I go? This is a big one. The people, you and me, we've had it, folks, with these sick people and what they're doing to kids. And I've talked about for years now, Sheriff Grady Judd in Polk County, Florida, over that way. That guy, right, is doing a job. They arrested 12 people in an undercover child predator group. They had a sting and they caught him, including a Disney bus driver. Can you believe that? I'm shocked. How could Disney, who of course supports wokeism, supports everything disgusting and filthy. And in fact, folks, this is awesome. Let me finish up. Let me finish this up on Sheriff Grady Judd. He's not putting up with this shit. He's the same sheriff that said, well, if someone comes through your door, you just blast them right back out. Right? Operation Child Protector 2 worked. They caught a bunch more of these people, folks. Deputies said 4 of the suspects went to a location to have illegal contact with girls, right? Instead, they were greeted by law enforcement. 8 other suspects were arrested on warrants, alleging that they groomed girls, right? This is exactly what's going on in schools. And again, this is what kids don't understand, is they hear these thoughts and words come from their teachers and from, oh yeah, queens who are reading the book, over-sexualized males dressed as women talking about sexual situations. And then these kids, boys and girls, go online and they meet other adults who use the same words and phrases. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting what is going on. It's called grooming. And the next step after grooming is to try and make them little perverted toys. Yeah. Unbelievable, folks. And people, they're realizing it. They're absolutely realizing this is happening. And get this, folks. Get this. This is going to kill you. I think it's absolutely hilarious, folks. The woke garbage, this grooming crap, right? Disney, they just did Buzz Lightyear, the movie. And when I first heard about that, I was like, oh, I thought Toy Story was a cool story with this character named Buzz Lightyear, right? Well, guess what? They made Buzz Lightyear gay. They made Buzz Lightyear woke, and it completely flopped. It's a pile of shit movie. Nobody is going to see it because people are rejecting Disney. They're rejecting wokeism. They're rejecting all of this grooming that's going on. They're seeing it, and they're blaming Democrats, socialists, the left-wing radicals out there, and all these parents that, oh, it's so wonderful and it's good for the kids, right? It's criminal. I think it is absolutely criminal. And it's being called criminal by some politicians, folks. It's being called criminal, and it ought to be called criminal because that's exactly what it is, in my opinion. It's exactly what it is. Right. There was an article that came out also, and it was when the lies come home, right? What lies have we been hearing from the mainstream media and from big social media, folks? They've lied to us about Russia and Ukraine. They've lied to us about the elections. They've lied to us about Cerveza-Bug, and they've lied to us about the Jim Jones juice. They've been lying for months, folks, and they've been lying for years. Right? Now, Diogenes, one of the world's great philosophers from long, long ago, thousands of years ago, believed that lies were the currency, the money, the thing that was used to buy people in politics. And he said those lies were the ones that he wanted to expose and show that they had no value. Right. Now, to make his point, apparently Diogenes, thousands of years ago, occasionally carried a lit lantern through the streets of Athens. He was Greek. If asked why, Diogenes said he was searching for an honest man. Right? Now, folks, let's carry that forward into Washington, D.C. today. If you had to search for an honest man in D.C., do you think you would find him? Now, the answer is no, not a fucking chance. Because Washington, D.C. is full of lies. They lie about you and me. They lie about our history, our nation, our laws. Everything is a lie. It's incredible, folks. It's incredible. And who do we blame, or who should we blame? Well, they do lie in D.C., but it's the mainstream that reports their lies as truth. And so they become part of the lie. Big tech, social media, they don't allow you and me to speak freely because our truth, our facts, our opinion, our perspective cannot be allowed because it is completely the opposite of DC's lies, Washington, D.C., and the lies that the media have. So now social media joins their liars club and they're enriching themselves. That's the currency with power, control, influence. Right? Who else? These lies trickle down from the top. It trickles down into the states, into the schools, into local media, into local politics. It has trickled down into our workforce, folks, into corporations. Now, corporations have to have board members that shouldn't be there, but it's based on a quota. You need so many people who are light in the loafers. You need so many people with pink hair. You need so many people who have the right gender, and so many people who claim to have a gender, which they actually don't. But as long as they claim that's their gender, now they fit the special mode. It's incredible, folks. Right? Now, going back to Ukraine, the Western media did everything in its power to play up, right, the Ukrainian side of the argument and that they're winning. But those lies are being exposed. Lies everywhere, folks. Lies everywhere. But you and I see it. Their propaganda fails. The propaganda of politicians is failing. The media, big tech, the local people are failing. That's what parents, when parents finally found out what was happening to their kids, this push for, why don't you just lop off your genitals? This push to take some drugs and suspend your puberty. Right? How many parents caught their kids doing nasty things and said, who the fuck told you to do that? Well, Dad, at the school. Oh, really? At the school. Right? Parents started going to school boards and saying enough of this shit and reading and finding LGBS propaganda in the libraries and going, what is this pornography? Literal pictures of how to give BJs, Lewinsky's, if you will. And when you bring it up at the school board, they're like, hey, you can't show that stuff in here. And it's like, well, you're showing it to our kids in school, but you as the school board don't want to see it. So that happened enough. You woke up, the parents of the world, the grandparents of the world said enough of this shit. And so the Attorney General of the United States, Merrick Garland, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation decided they would call parents domestic terrorists. You who believe in raising innocent children, educating them, and helping them become adults. You're terrorists because you told that school board no more of this garbage. No more critical race theory. No more trans crap. No more BLM crap. No more anti-American crap. It's so bad, folks, and it is being seen by the public that places like Texas, Florida, Missouri, Oklahoma, and many other states beside are saying no more of that crap in our schools, and they're passing laws. And the left is losing. They're losing the political war. They're losing the propaganda war in the media. And it is channels like this with people like you that are making a huge difference in this war, folks. It is an information war. And I want to thank you for fighting with me. Not fighting with me, but fighting with me against them, the bad guys. By raising your voice. And again, Jenny Jen brought this up with her awesome super chat donation and said, what now? Now we go to war with them. Not with bullets, not with violence, but with our political voices. We still have a First Amendment right, even though social media wants to silence us. Right? It is time for us to continue to speak up. Prep to action. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. You can get all of that at thepreparedmind.club. That is your store that we put together with affiliate links to get you the things you need, because the political left is not going to quit. They're promising more violence, and it's coming this summer. It's coming. We've been told by the pro-abortionists that it's time to burn it all down. They're talking about burning again, folks. They're talking about burning again. Burn it all down. And they're playing theatrical games, folks. A bunch of abortion activists were protesting, which is illegal, by the way, outside Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett's house, wearing white pants with red ink on them, right? Blood-soaked, right? Now, reality, logic, thinking. There has never been more or better birth control options than today. And so if women want to be promiscuous, then get on the pill, right? So he can't slip off his rubber, which is a common practice, I guess, right? I know there are side effects to the pill, but there's choices. You want to be pro-choice? There's your choice. Do you want side effects and promiscuity, or do you want to try and live whatever role in life you want, and right, you take your chances? It's your choice. But you don't get to kill people because you don't like the way things worked out because you made a bad choice, folks. And I'm sick of these hags using blood as their symbol of victimhood when men and women are responsible for these unwanted pregnancies. Men and women are both responsible. I understand, folks. They're in big trouble. They fucked up. But there are plenty of options, right? Plenty of choices besides being irresponsible and murdering. Now, again, I'm sick of the game playing, folks. Men don't wear blood-soaked clothing as a prop to object to fighting wars, right? We don't do that. If there is a legitimate, intelligent argument to make abortion legal, then let's hear it. But enough of the megaphones and the threatening of violence, right? These theatrics are bullying. They're pity-inducing, sophomoric crap, and it needs to stop. I've had a lot of people share with me their opinion. Sometimes they seem way more extreme than me. Sometimes they seem less extreme than me. But it is the full spectrum, folks. But literally, when you think about it, right? It's a bunch of theatrics. It's threatening violence, and they're not going away. The political left, and we've just discussed how they're losing. They're losing on the ground, and they're losing the media war. They're losing social media. That's why they want to censor us. And Putin warned, and we covered this in a video. He warned directly and said, hey, you oligarchs, you elites are going to be replaced. People are waking up, and there are going to be populist movements, and there are going to be extremists that come in. There are going to be extremist populist movements, and that's what the politicians don't want. They don't want the Boberts and the Marge Taylor Greens, right? Because they're radical and crazy, they say. Well, to me, they sound pretty normal. But to these leftists, they're radical and crazy because they want freedom and liberty, and they want to protect and preserve our Constitution, right? And to say, well, we're just going to tear your Constitution down, that's fighting words. So if they're willing to go to war to destroy my Constitution, shouldn't I be willing to go to political war? Not violence, not harmful, not dangerous, but should I not be willing to go to war just as much as anyone else to protect my rights and my Constitution? Why do I have to give up my rights to satisfy some crybaby dumbass who wants to boo-hoo and bawl and then get violent when they don't get their way? Well, folks, the summer of love 2022, it's coming. It is coming, and it's going to be fought on many fronts. Many fronts. Whoo! What a Father's Day Sunday Night Live. Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. If you've got a super chat donation, something you want to talk about, a person, a place, a thing, an event, what is happening, you let me know. But folks, the Second Amendment matters to me. The Second Amendment. Did you know that the Internal Revenue Service, that's right, folks, the Internal Revenue Service, they are ammoing up. The IRS, folks, are buying ammunition now. The intent here is to make finding ammunition for you harder, to make it more expensive, right? And by the way, do you want the IRS to have more ammunition and more guns? You know, it's bad enough that the Internal Revenue Service can send you a letter, a bill, and make a demand. And if you don't respond, right, they just levy your wages, garnish your wages. They take your bank account. They lien it. They'll sell your house. That's what the IRS can do. If you do show up to whatever summons they send, then they just screw you over with penalties. So you, as an American, just pay your taxes, right? But do we need them having guns and bullets in addition to having courts and banks on their side? So why is it that the IRS is ammoing up? Remember when the Postal Service bought millions of rounds of ammunition? The Postal Service, what? That's right, folks. The government has bought billions and billions of rounds, and I'm not talking about the military, since Obama came to office. And they're worried about us, the civilians, having ammo. Well, we don't run around with badges pretending to be the government. We don't need those stinking badges, right? We know who we are as the people. We are truly the authority in this country. We pay the bills, right? We pay the bills. It's our country. If I wasn't the owner, why would I be expected to pay the bill otherwise if I was just a guest? Well, I know there's a lot of funny ways to talk about it, but we are the people and we own this country, right? Unbelievable. They think they run it. And Blue Core Devil checks in with a 762 super chat donation. He says, cheers to all of my fellow daddies. Any male can be a father, but it takes a real man to be a dad. It sure does, man. And I'm glad that you are the dad. And I tell you what, on that note, I'm going to go cheers with you, brother. I tell you, good stuff. Good stuff, Mr. Captain. I'll pour another one. And again, just because it's good. Got another one ready. Are you fully prepared? Do you see things the way I do, or do I sound really radical? I remember years ago, I did a video and it did very, very, very well. This is before YouTube started sanctioning the channel, if you will, putting computer algorithms to stop me and you from talking and sharing. They stopped promoting this channel. We did a show called The Hordes Will Come for Preppers. And there was a lady that came on, and she was there with a group of her, said, this is a great video. I recommend everyone watch it, right? This is back when people could watch and recommend to groups. She said, this guy's kind of militant, but, you know, he makes some pretty good points. That kind of hurt my feelings. I thought militant, I was talking about the fact that there are going to be ravenous, crazy crowds going down streets and scaring the hell out of people and attacking people. And I think I made that video in like 2016. And then lo and behold, in 2020, just a few years later, what did we have? We had hordes of BLMers and hordes of Antifa marching down the streets with torches, pitchforks, bullhorns, and Molotov cocktails. Fireworks, rocks, bricks, guns, and they burned, looted, and murdered in America for the entire summer. They had over 300 individual riots. And people want to say I'm militant, that I'm a little bit crazy because I predicted shit like that was going to start happening. Yeah, well, we've had Joe Biden, since the 2020 election. Starting in 2021, we've had the Biden administration. Things have gone for America since then. Check out your bill. Check out your gas bill, your food bill, right? Look around. What's your confidence level in America? Yeah, I'm telling you, folks, they're doing it to us. Are you prepared, right? That's the question. Why are you here now? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. That's why you're here. They're not fixing things, folks, right? They're not fixing things. That's why we have this Sunday Night Live, so you can come here and ask questions. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you share this video. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Unbelievable, folks. I mean, what they're doing out there. In Fairfax County, Virginia, schools are now mandating how trans students have to be referred to. Oh my gosh, my feelings are hurt because someone didn't make me feel loved, wanted, or cared about. That's the mentality of these people out there, folks. The ones who are going to be causing the most trouble are these young, energetic ding-dongs, right? And the schools are continuing to encourage it, mandating the acceptance of someone else's mental health issue. And by the way, compelled speech is unconstitutional, right? I demand to be called sovereign leader by all government employees and all elected servants. I am sovereign leader. That's what they need to refer to me as, right? Or maybe my master. So when they talk to me, they have to say, my master. And they're not allowed to ignore me or just call me you or that person. Nope. Have to call me master, right? And if they don't, I should be able to sue them for violating my rights. You see, that's how stupid this game is that they're playing. The design is to destroy America, not to make these people special. These same idiots who are cutting off their genitals and demanding to be called other things, right? I identify as this or that. They are not part of this future game that was mentioned earlier. Like, what comes next after this? These people are off the board. And in fact, I did mention earlier, and I'll cover it now, that Hitler used certain people to commit certain crimes. And then they were eliminated once his Third Reich became all powerful. Soviet Union was even worse with their Bolsheviks. They had a bunch of disenchanted young communists that they raised up, convinced they need to go fight a war against their own government. They defeated the government and installed, right, the Soviet leadership, the Soviet Union communists. And then the communists went around and killed off anyone that they didn't want, anyone that they felt was a threat. And that included their own radical revolutionaries, folks. And then they murdered their own officer corps. When Stalin couldn't trust them, then he killed off his own military. They had such poor military leadership that when World War II started, it almost cost them the war. Now, these people that are pushing all this woke shit, they're useful idiots. And in time, the next regime, when it's powerful, and I'm not saying it's going to be the World Economic Forum, it could be something entirely different when the oligarchs get kicked out of their high chairs, their high towers. There could be a radical system in place, folks, that eliminates all of these fruitcakes out here, right? There's no end to the demands that these people make, folks. And when the first unreasonable demand is adhered to, like it has been, you have to accept them. You can't call them names. You have to be like them. Right? Once they make one unreasonable demand, then they'll make 2, then 4, then 10, right? And when demands become law, right, they keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And yes, here we are. Unbelievable, folks. I hope you're getting all you can out of this, because I actually am. See, I go through the news every day. I go through the news and I pull out articles that I think are part of our world that are important for us as patriots, as free people, as preppers to discuss and think about. Let's see. Oh, Jolene just sent me something. Hold on to that super chat, please. Jolene asked this question of me privately, and it said, how many times do we get tricked into destroying ourselves before we figure out that this shit is a trap? Well, they try something different every single time, right? They tried communism in Russia. They tried fascism in Italy, in Germany, right? And we found out, whoops, that's crap. That's crap, right? And they continue to push it on new people around the world. And then we showed that socialism failed. Freedom has been the best thing for individuals, but they quit teaching how evil communism is, how many millions of people it has destroyed, Jolene. And so we're back to that square again. They can replay this one. That's a replay. Now, throughout history, people have said, well, we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do. We need a leader. And so they pick the smartest person. And they say, you're our leader. And then that person says, well, I'm king too, right? George Washington, founding father, white guy, was offered to kingship, king of America. And he declined. He didn't want to be the king. Didn't want to be the king. He just, I'll be president. That was good enough, folks. We don't need kings to rule us. We don't need kings to tell us what is right. We need people to administrate a system of government that respects everyone equally, that accepts our rights as being inalienable. We need a government, right? And an administration and a legislature that works within the confines of the Constitution, which has authorized it. The government doesn't exist by right. It exists because we allow it to exist and we authorize it. It has authority. We, the people, have rights, but people are ignorant and people don't learn and they get tricked, as Jolene said. And then we figure out how bad things are, right? Much like the animal that walks into the trap because it sees something inside at once. Hey, a hot dog inside that trap. So the raccoon goes in the trap and the door slams shut. And now the raccoon's like, damn it, I fell for the old hot dog trick, right? And then the raccoon is picked up in its trap and it's transported to somewhere else it doesn't want to be. For humans, right? That place we don't want to be is called servitude. All right, let's go to that super chat donation. We're coming up on the end of the hour. If you've got a super chat topic you want to go over, hit that button up there, hit the Cash App button, hit the PayPal button, and we'll take care of you. But we're going to roll up on the show. William C. with a $5 super chat donation. He says, I guess now that Russia has taken away a cash cow, that's the Ukraine, taken that away, the Western elites, they will send our children to take it back. That is the push, William. They have tried getting you and me, the people. They have tried to get us so pissed off and riled that we would support going to war with Russia. And the people have not fallen for it. No, they haven't. They have tried, and they have tried, and they have tried. They tried saying nuclear attack. They've tried saying biological, chemical weapons, weapons of mass destruction. They've tried all that fear, and nobody fell for it. They're mad, right? We believe that Russia's bad guys, but we didn't fall for it. Right? They tried saying, look, Russia is causing food prices, fuel prices to go up. Bad Russia. Nobody wants to go to war with Russia, folks. Not over Ukraine. Not when there's evidence that they're lying to us. Now, something happened this weekend. The major media is reporting that Russia has attacked America in Syria. Well, then a little further down, if you read the article, no, Russia is doing things to cause problems for the proxy fighters in Syria. Oh, that's right. By the way, the United States government is still trying to get rid of the leader of Syria, Bashar al-Assad, and there's still a small civil war going on in that country. Why is that itty-bitty war getting so little press when that itty-bitty war in Ukraine is getting so much press? Well, it's because Ukraine is a cash cow. It is the money laundering playground of politicians and the Western oligarchy. They have been stealing from the Ukrainian people, the people of Ukraine, and enriching themselves. It's a cash cow. But they've also made the mistake, and this is where I think Voldemort has gotten in trouble. He does not control 100% the Azov battalion. They have been in eastern Ukraine committing atrocities against ethnic Russians for years and years and years. That, along with threatening to bring in NATO bases and military and nuclear weapons, is what told Russia, or caused Russia to say that's the last straw. And because they pushed so hard, they've lost that cash cow. They truly have. They blew it. They screwed the pooch, if you will. They lost it, folks. I mean, if you had millions of dollars, billions of dollars coming in, would you go and be so greedy and so stupid that you would screw up? Well, guess what? That's what they did. They absolutely screwed themselves out of all that money. The elites, the oligarchs, by pushing and pushing and pushing. And they want to push you so that you agree to send your kids to fight in Syria or fight in Ukraine. And I don't think the people are buying that. So instead of going to fighting wars in places like Vietnam or Afghanistan and Iraq or even Ukraine, instead they brought the fight to us in our own country, in our own capital, in our own cities, in our own states. They're turning the people on one another by creating a divisive line, a division, and then saying, well, you should hate each other. You should fight each other. That's where they're pushing us, folks. But who is doing the pushing and for what purpose? The United States, folks, is one hell of a cash cow, is it? Or is it not? When they can print as much paper as they want and call it wealth and then buy up whatever they want with that paper from people who think they're making money. We were warned the other day by the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell that we're going to have a central bank digital currency, a CBDC. Oh yeah, folks, they want to take your paper money that they've given to themselves and then say yours is worthless. We've got some big changes coming. They want their neo-feudal system. They want to pretend, folks, they want to pretend like they're not doing this to us when it is exactly them who are doing it. The powers that be, the governments, right? It is time to out them, prep to action. It's time to tell them, our political leaders, and I say that loosely, you're wrong. Tell them off. That's what time it is. It's time to tell them off. It's time to expose who is supporting them, who pays their bills, right? Who opens these offshore bank accounts and loads it full of money for them so they pass really bad laws. Like I said, there was a comedian, a satirist, if you will, who confronted Representative Dan Crenshaw. He called him Eye Patch McCain, heckled him. And so a crowd of people around Representative Crenshaw, Rhino, assaulted the guy and then claimed that the comedian reporter, satirist, assaulted the representatives and his people. I tell you what, folks, it's going to come down to it. It really is. It's going to come down to some big pushing and big shoving. Question for me and you is, where do we stand? What do we believe? Do we believe in America, freedom and liberty? Or do we believe what we're being told to believe by the media, by special interest groups who are the oligarchs and their corporations? Right? Who do you believe? Do you believe in freedom and liberty, or do you believe in the opposite? Do we have patriots fighting patriots, or do we have patriots fighting traitors to our country? I think it becomes very simple when you break it down that way. Right? Gun control in the Senate, it's hit a snag. Yep. Folks, governments are dangerous and they're murderous. Red flag laws are not safe, folks. Government kills millions and millions of people, over 100 million people in the last 100 years, right? We don't trust them. Governments are dangerous and murderous. They need their guns taken away. And if we want to be honest, governments are the least responsible, though they pretend to be the most. They are not. They are corrupt, and they use guns to get their way, the same as armed robbers do. Red flag laws against the government is our Second Amendment. Free speech is our voice to tell government no. And they're trying to take away both. Folks, chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. Thank you for the great support, the super chats, the topics, the subjects, the camaraderie. Thank you for all that you do to support this channel, to keep us on the air, if you will. Coming at you live on Sunday Night Live. It is Father's Day, so time to get back to the barbecues. And we had great turnout for this great Father's Day celebration. And again, as a father, I wanted to be here with everybody, but it is time for me to return to the food and drink. So I'll go topside, but we'll be back here bright and early tomorrow. Thank you for everybody who is coming over. Everybody, folks, who is coming over to Subscribestar. That is subscribestar.com. That is where our premium service is, where you get videos instantly, and YouTube gets them shortly thereafter. And you get live question and answer with me Monday through Friday. If you're a Subscribestar member, it's only $2 a month, 7 cents a day. There's the address. Thank you very much, Jolene. We're going to turn you loose now, folks. We're going to say good night, farewell, adieu, and Godspeed. Semper Fi. Chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. Let's keep fighting the good fight, folks. See you next time, bright and early.